Hey all and welcome back. In this guide, I'll step you through the process of installing a DCC decoder and speaker into the Auscision P-Class locomotive. The P-Class comes as a DCC ready model with provisions for a speaker already built into the body of the model. DCC Sound produce high quality sound files specifically for the P-Class. I purchased this sound decoder from them with the sound pre-installed. The P-Class is built to accept this specific decoder and speaker assembly. This is a highly detailed model with a lot of fine details, so a word of caution, handle it very carefully because it's very easy to dislodge or break off details. First off, we need to detach the small chain that connects the coupler box to the shell. You'll need some fine pointed tweezers to do this. Make sure you detach them on both sides. In the box of the P-Class is some protective foam. A piece of this is handy to protect the model as you lay it down to remove the screws. Unscrew the coupler box from underneath and remember to be careful when you grip the model. The coupler box should push out with little effort. Again, this is done on both sides and it's a good idea to keep all the screws organised and separated where necessary. The shell is held onto the chassis with 4 screws, 2 at either end just beside the coupler box, and can be removed from underneath. Once the 4 screws are removed, you can lift the shell away from the chassis. However, there are a couple of points to note. As you lift the shell away, be aware that the chassis is connected to the shell by 2 wires which power the headlight above the cab. I also had to remove the side steps to lift the shell away because the position they are attached overlaps a small notch on the chassis. The stairs were jamming against the notch, making it difficult to lift the shell away. During the removal of the steps, I inadvertently detached a hose line, which I will reattach later once I've finished installing the decoder. There is a dummy plug connected which needs to be removed first. Once removed, you may want to keep the dummy plug in a safe place, as this is required should you want to revert the model back to DC only. Be careful not to damage the pins as you remove the dummy plug. The orientation of the sound decoder is very important. The blank plug needs to be positioned top right when looking at the model side on. And this is the blank plug here. If it's installed incorrectly, you may void the warranty of the decoder. Now the decoder is installed, we can turn around to the speaker. There is a position for the speaker already built into the frame of the model. We just need a small amount of tacky craft glue to hold the speaker in place, and then I'll loosely sit the shell over the top and give the Loco a test run to make sure everything is working as advertised. I make sure to check the sound, operation and lighting. With everything working, we can finish the installation. To get the best performance and sound from the speaker, we need to seal it. Basically, we are creating a baffle to prevent the sound waves from the rear of the speaker interfering with the sound waves from the front of the speaker, which may result in the 2 sounds cancelling each other out. DCC Sound recommend using crystal clear. In my example, I'm going to use PVA glue. What I did was pour out a small amount of glue and let it sit for about 10 minutes or so until it begins to thicken up. Then I use a skewer to apply it and fill in the gaps. You only need a very small amount of glue. Next, some tape is used to cover the back, trying to get a good seal. The wires coming from the speaker can be tidied up simply with a small piece of tape. There is quite a large hole out the top which we will be filling in. Again, I use PVA to cover up the hole. Just ensure it's not too runny, as you don't want the glue to run down the back of the speaker. And finally, there is another small gap here at the base which will be filled in with PVA as well. Wipe away any excess and make sure the glue has dried before reattaching the shell. If it's still wet, you may inadvertently glue the shell onto the chassis. Now we can reassemble the body. When fitting the shell back on, you will need to watch carefully, as there are some small detail parts that will become snagged. These hoses tend to press inwards, and you will need to pull them clear on all four sides as you press the shell down onto the chassis. Now it's basically working in reverse. Attach the body mounting screws first, then reassemble the coupler. It should be orientated like this when inserting it back into the frame. And finally, you can use those tweezers to press the chains back into position, and you're ready to roll.